Hi everybody, my name is Bree and welcome back to my channel, Bree's Arts. So I just want to start off today's video by saying thank you so much to all of my wonderful subscribers. You guys are amazing. And to welcome anybody who is new to my channel. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, tap that like button and maybe subscribe. Now I wanted to try something a little bit different in this video today. I live in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan gets very, very cold over the winter. And every year we are able to go down to Mexico, catch some sun, and get some relief from the minus 40 degrees Celsius weather. Well, with COVID, obviously, we were not able to do that this year. So I am missing travel very much. So I thought that I would do a travel theme in this video today. So I would really like to know, what is your favorite travel destination? My favorite travel destination is definitely somewhere hot and sunny, but let me know down in the comments where you guys like to go. Now, of course, I will be using mostly items from Dollar Tree and Dollarama. Now, with that being said, let's just jump into the first DIY. Okay, DIY number one. So I am going to take this piece of MDF that I found in my wood pile in my garage, and we're gonna do a really neat painting technique with this. So we're gonna make it look like actual wood using our wax, our antique wax by Folk Art. And so I'm going to take my chippy brush here and put the wax all over. Now you want to get the brush strokes. That's what makes the wax look like wood. And you'll see here that I'm going to bring my brush down and give it a swirl and go across. So it kind of looks like knots. I've done this quite a few times on different projects and it looks like real wood. It looks like stained wood. So you just take your brush and like I'm doing right here, just take it and swirl it around and it looks like knots. It's amazing, you guys. And just continue to get those nice brush strokes. Works like a charm, I'm telling you. You see, it looks like wood. Love this technique. It is amazing. And then of course we are going to get all of the edges of our sign as well. And now I lost the footage, but I did print out this graphic from Cricut Design Space. So just using my dabby brush and some sheepskin paint by Folk Art, I'm just going to dab, 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 like I always do for the entire stencil. And this technique makes it look like it's old and weathered as well. Like you don't need complete full coverage. Dab, 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 dab. And my big head, always in the way. You're welcome. Okay, so as usual, taking off the stencil while the paint is still wet, just so that we don't pull up any of the paint. If you do let the paint dry, then the stencil does tend to bring up some of the paint and you don't get the nice crisp lines that you would if you did it when it was wet. Isn't this graphic beautiful? I absolutely love it. Cricut Design Space. And if you don't have Cricut Design Space, it is so worth it if you have a Cricut to purchase it for the year. I think, I don't know, $100 maybe for the subscription, and you get thousands and thousands of graphics. So making another stencil here, it says, "Not all those who wander are lost." That is one of my favorite sayings. I really, really wish I could travel more. I've been to Europe, I've been to the States, to Mexico, all across Canada, coast to coast pretty much. The only provinces I haven't been to are Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, and I will get there eventually. Have not been to the territories though. And again, with our sheepskin paint, dabbing on that stencil. And again, this is using the Oracle 813 stencil vinyl. I really love it. It works so well. No bleeds, and it pulls up just perfectly. Weeds like a dream. There we go, weeding out all of those letters, and voila. Now we're going to take one of these coat hangers, I guess. It's from the Dollar Tree. I had to cut it down because it was too long for my sign. I just used some wire cutters, but you can see I'm reefing on it pretty hard. It did take me a while. If you have like a metal grinder or something, obviously that will work better, but you know what? We deal with what we got, right? And now just lining this up on the back, marking where I want my screws to go, because we are actually going to screw this onto the sign. And grabbing my power drill. I did have to put some spacers behind this hanging rack, only because the screws were a little bit too long, so I didn't want them to poke out the front. And then you will see a little bit later that I used some Jenga blocks at the top so that it sits flush to the wall. Look at that, looks great. And now grabbing some twine that I got at the Dollar Tree, we are just going to hot glue it down on the back on one of the sides and wind it around just to give it a little bit more interest. And here you can see the Jenga blocks at the top there so that it does sit flush to the wall. It worked out really, really well. I could have probably used shorter screws, you guys, but I didn't have any. So if you have shorter screws, use those. So I am taking my power drill again and a drill bit and just screwing in some of those little hooky things. Many of you subscribers out there told me that they are eye hooks, so I will most likely still call them little hooky things, but they're eye hooks, just so you know. Now, I just used the same twine, but really what I should have used is that wired twine that you can get at the Dollar Tree. But I just grabbed this. If you want more stability, then use that. But that's it, you guys. All done. So easy. Love it. All right, you guys, DIY number 2. So taking this little bank that I found at the Dollar Tree, I just popped the back off. It comes off really easily. And what I wanted to do was take off this lettering with some nail polish remover. Now, I've had success with this in the past, but this blue did not want to come off. So I just had to resort to my scraper. And with a little bit of elbow grease, it did finally come off. It just took a little bit more time, obviously. But you can see here, it worked out pretty perfectly and nice and clean. And now taking this beautiful scrap paper that I got out of a big pack that I got at Dollarama. They have tons of scrapbooking paper there, and it is beautiful. I can't even express. So just cutting it down to size, and we are just going to hot glue it to the back of this bank here. Just cover up that tropical looking pattern. Now I'm just going to sand down the edges a little bit here just so that the paint has something better to stick to. And you can see that I did tape off all of the glass on the inside and the outside. So I am going to give this a coat of white paint first. Make sure you get all of the edges on the inside as well. And paint it all up. And we are going to use that wood painting technique again without the swirling, but definitely use your chippy brush. Make sure you get those brush strokes in there and it looks like wood. I love this technique. I don't even know where I saw it first, but it's incredible and I will be using it on a ton of projects for sure. I love that natural wood color, and I'm sure you could probably do it with some acrylic paint as well, as long as you're using a really rough brush. So if you wanted like a lighter wood or, you know, a different color, whatever, you could definitely try it out with some acrylic paint too. Now I found these little airplanes at the Dollar Tree, and essentially I'm just going to use my antique wax by Folk Art and use my baby wipe and just put it on and then wipe it off. Make sure you get all of the edges and paint it right up. See, get all the edges. And here I am just going to use a little bit of my black chalk paint just to, again, bring out the edges, give it more of an vintage antique-y kind of look and make it just pop out a little bit better. And to make this a little bit 3D, grab one of those tumbling tower blocks and glue it onto the back of the plane. And then we're just gonna glue that right onto the back of the bank. And then we're just gonna snap that right back into place. Just like that. So now taking these beautiful corner pieces that I got on Amazon, if you don't have them, you can definitely use these stickers here that you can get at the Dollar Tree. But I used these, I will link them down below, and just to give them a little bit more interest, I did take my black chalk paint and I just went over them to do like an antiquing technique, just to make them pop a little bit more off of the wood frame, or the faux wood frame that we've created. And here I'm just showing you the difference between the antiqued kind of look and the original look. And we're just going to hot glue these into the corners. And they stuck really, really well. All four corners, all the way around. And that's it, you guys. Such an easy project, and I just think it turned out stunning. I absolutely love it. Okay, you guys, I'm just popping in here really quick to let you know that I am closing in really fast on 5,000 subscribers. So I was originally going to do a giveaway at 10,000, but I cannot wait that long. So I will be announcing once I hit 5,000 in my community tab and on Instagram about the giveaway. If you recall, I am going to be giving away some decals that you can only get at Dollarama, which is a Canadian dollar store. Now, I did use these decals a while back in a few DIYs. I will link that video down below, and stay tuned for the giveaway. Thanks, you guys. Back to the DIYs. All right, you guys, DIY number 3. This one is my favorite. So I'm taking this little trinket box, jewelry box, some kind of box, I don't know, from Dollarama, and just removing the hardware. So there's a little clasp on the front and some hinges on the back. And we are going to sand it down first. It's a little bit rough, as are most things from Dollarama that are wood. So give it a quick sand. And then we are going to use our antique wax, and we're going to go over the entire thing, both the lid and the bottom, all of the edges, just the whole entire thing. Putting the wax on with the baby wipe, wiping off the excess. You guys totally know the drill. This is the best technique so that you don't waste product. And there we go, all painted up, all nice and covered. And now, Nantucket Blue. You guys know I love this color. And we are actually going to go over the entire box on the outside with the Nantucket Blue, and then we are going to distress it down quite a bit. So it doesn't have to be full coverage, obviously. You saw at the beginning of the video, this is going to be like an old suitcase. So I definitely want it to look vintage and weathered and worn. So you don't have to put a full coat. And then we're gonna sand it down and give it so much character, have some of that natural wood show through. You see how this distressing just gives it so much character. I absolutely love it. Look at that, you guys. And that Nantucket Blue, oh my goodness, it's perfect. This is legit one of my favorite projects that I have ever done. Now, this paper from Dollarama, I used it in the second DIY. It is stunning. I love it. It's so vintage. And I found this one piece. You guys, it was perfect for this project. You know how on old suitcases, they'll have like stickers from places that you've been. So I saw this and I'm like, I'm putting this all over this suitcase. So legit just going to cut out the ones that I really like, and we're just going to throw them all over this suitcase. Just using my rotary blade to make sure that my lines are nice and straight, and cutting them out. And I'm just gonna place them all over the suitcase. No rhyme or reason, just making them kind of messy. Putting some on the sides as well, just to cover this suitcase. Hanging over the side too, like, oh, it's so perfect. So I really didn't like how crisp the sides of these little stickers were, so I decided that I was just going to rip off a little bit at the edge so that the white from the core of the paper showed through. I was very, very careful, obviously, going through this, and I did it to every single one of them. It just added to the vintage charm of this little suitcase. And I am going to use Mod Podge on each one of these just to stick them down. So just spread it on, and then I went over top of all of them as well, just to make sure that they were adhered to the box really securely. Now I do two different things, like I'll put it onto the paper and then put it on the box and then go over top. And I also just, you know, decided to throw it on the box itself, and then just place the little pieces of paper you see there. Just place them right on there. And that one goes over the side, so just make sure everything is adhered really, really well with that Mod Podge on each one of our little faux stickers here. Doesn't that ripped effect look perfect? Oh my goodness. I just can't get over it. I absolutely love this, for real. And the Mod Podge worked perfectly over top. And of course, just go over the entire top to make sure everything is adhered down and it's all cohesive. You'd be able to see where the Mod Podge was if you didn't go over it completely. So make sure you do that and check it out, you guys. Oh my goodness, look at it. It's stunning. I am so in love with this. And now I found these rolls of faux leather at the Dollar Tree. If you see them, buy them because they will not be there next time. And I just cut up a couple of strips of it. I think they were about 1 inch. And then I'm just hot gluing them on each side, like on the, like 2 of them on top to make it look like a suitcase. And going down the side as well. And then just going to cut it off there and glue it to the edge as well. There we go. Get them both done. Can you see this suitcase coming together? Oh my goodness, you guys, I love it. Look at that. And of course, we're going to line it up with the bottom of our box here. And just marking it off with my pencil and adding just that additional strip to the bottom of our box. And this leather comes in a few different colors, just so you know. There was the brown, there was a dark blue, a white or cream color, I guess, and a black. So I got 2 of each because I knew the next time that I went to the Dollar Tree, it was not going to be there. All right, so I got these vintage drawer handles off of Facebook Marketplace. I think I got like 30 different ones for like 10 bucks. It was ridiculous. And so I'm just going to use that for the handle of our little suitcase here. A couple of dabs of hot glue and good to go. Now, I wanted this also to be a picture holder, I guess, when it's open. So I just grabbed a couple of these clothespins that I got at Dollarama, hot glued them on the inside, and then I don't show it, but I do reassemble the entire box, but I lost the footage. So just so you know, I put all of the hardware back on and I cannot wait for you guys to see. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed my vintage travel inspired DIYs. This box, you guys, I cannot get over it. I absolutely love it. I just think it is so beautiful. And maybe let me know which one was your favorite in the comments down below. Now, remember, I will be doing my giveaway once I reach 5,000 subscribers. So keep an eye on my community tab and also on my Instagram, which I will link down below. And while you're down there, do me a solid. Tap that like button, maybe subscribe, tell your friends, you know, all of that jazz. Stay tuned for the gag reel. Bye guys. So first off, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my subscribers. You guys are amazing. Amazing. So Can you please? Mother. I live in Saskatchewan. It gets down to minus 40 degrees Celsius, which a little...
No.
You see that? Ninja skills. That was my stomach. Did you hear that? I'm hungry. So, with that being said, no.
You said different twice.
Did I say different twice? Should I say something different?
Anymore.
And I would say... I don't know.
Oh my God.
Now, with that being said, let's just jump into the first DIY.
DIY.
The bangs, the curls.
The queen.